Okay, we are back, and this is post Shiloh. If you watched the previous video, you know that we went in with a straight set of infantry units, and we were victorious, which gives us 2 career points. So we're going to spend both of those points on politics. And then we are going to disband all of our grenadier units and feed their experience into the recruit pool. And you'll see why in a minute, because we're basically gonna merge these guys into these rifle units. And we're gonna, because we have Johnston now, we're gonna go ahead and create a second corps, movement infantry.
Yes, sir.
And I think, let's see, we're gonna promote Canfield. I'm gonna do this kind of fast because I've been fiddling with this all morning, trying to get it right. Promote Canfield to the command of 3rd Division, which actually we're gonna empty here in a minute. Oh, and we're also gonna disband 2-3 rifle. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna ramp these guys up to 1,700 men. And you'll notice that even though I'm adding a huge number of men, their stats don't go down that much, and that's because my recruit pool is so good. My recruit pool is now up to 20, 26, 30, 23, 22, and so you can add a lot more men with a much lower reduction in stats. And this seems like a lot, but we're going to balance it out with some ballast units here in a minute. I'll show you the difference. We're also buying some weapons in the process of doing this. A whole bunch of pattern 1853 Enfields, which is okay because we've got the money. And then we're gonna. Now the cavalry are the ones who get hurt the worst, but you'll still note they don't go down to enormous numbers. Like, they don't drop crazy, especially on the stats that aren't melee. Melee goes down because the recruit melee stat is lower, but they still come out pretty good. We're gonna shift these guys. What we're gonna actually do is we're gonna drop Forrest completely off. I don't know if it's the mod or if it's the patch, but Forrest cavalry now actually have the correct perks. They've got the mounted speed, they've got charge damage bonus, melee bonus, and shock cavalry charge damage bonus, melee bonus. So these guys are actually excellent melee cavalry. And they don't need anything added to them, and they don't need any additional experience, so I'm actually not going to use them in this battle. I'm going to drop them into 2 corps here. Shift those guys up there. And we'll go ahead and start creating these divisions so we can drop Forrest. So you can see now, we're going to go to the battle here. So we have 1,700 men in each infantry brigade, 2 500-man cavalry brigades, and the enemy soldier count is 16,495. I'm bringing 11,384. Okay, 1.5 to 1, not bad odds. I don't have any guns, not a big deal. This is not an artillery-friendly battle, so since I've disbanded my artillery, but what I'm going to do is start building ballast brigades. We'll just hand them Springfields. And we'll use those 2 because they're existing officers. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, and drain that supply too. And then once we have to start buying officers, we're going to start buying lieutenant colonels. Because I'm not going to waste money on majors that I then have to... and you'll notice that the lieutenant colonels, every time I give them a position, they... oh, this is a division. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do Bragg. You'll notice that every time I give one of these lieutenant colonels a brigade, he gets the perk. And that's because my recruit stats are so good that a lieutenant colonel plus these recruits gets them the level 1 perk, which is great. And that's actually something I'd like to maintain if possible throughout the campaign. It means your green troops are much better, able to participate in full combat without being slaughtered or chased off. And we're setting this up as a ballast brigade setup right now, but we are looking forward to the future, which is why I'm buying generals here, because at Gaines Mill we're going to need this corps, and so we might as well set it up to be good. Lieutenant Colonel Weed. And we're not going to bother giving them perks because we're going to disband them after a bit anyway. Yeah, we'll buy a colonel here.
Sir, yes, sir!
Just promote him if we need to. And we're out of 1842, so we'll dip into the palmettos. Okay, so that gives me a full corps of ballast units. And then we go back to the battle. And you can see that despite adding all of those units who aren't going to fight in the battle, we've now dropped the enemy soldier count to 13,634, which is pretty fantastic, all things considered. The last thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bump these cavalry numbers up a little more because I've got some weapons. These guys have enough experience to handle it. Try to make these guys a little more powerful and a little more survivable. $13,000, so they added about 100 men, so that's even, pretty even there. But now you can see we've got 11,484 coming in against 13,772 plus 30 guns. So we've evened the odds basically from 1.5-ish to 1 to about 1.1 or 1.2 to 1, which is good. And that's as far as we're going to push it. So we'll save. And I'll be right back with First Winchester.